Your guy Future kind of like, been doing a lot of press lately. Because he has an album coming out. We'll get to that later, but
it's out. It's out. The WIZRD.
Right, and
WIZRD's
he's been doing a lot of press lately. And this is the most I've ever seen Future talk, because Future don't really talk like that. Like even when he do interviews, his interviews are kind of like just kind of stale, because he doesn't reveal that much.
They're just basic. He sticks to the music.
Right, but he does have like these moments where he'll say that it's like one bar.
When he pissed off.
Right. And I don't know if it's because he's been doing all these interviews in one day and that one person just happened to get him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but this one that has stood out that kind of had people kind of going was, well, it was a couple. But the first one that I noticed was the one he said about Sierra.
Sierra Russell.
Right. He said, quote, "He do exactly what she tell him to do. He not being a man in that position. You not telling her, bro, chill out on that internet. Don't even talk to him. I'm your husband. You better not even bring up Future's name," unquote. I'm like, yo, that's kind of like.
Well, that was different. I heard the other quote when they was talking about she wants him to meet him now. He's like, I don't want to meet him now. The damage has been done. I should have met him a while ago. Y'all already done.
Wait. Sierra was saying that she want those two to meet now?
Something like that. I think he was asked Sierra would want it, or somehow it came up that Sierra wanted him, so it was time for him to meet Russell.
Okay.
So Future was like, fuck no, I don't want to meet him now. Like, what's the point of meeting him now? The damage has been done. Y'all married now. I'm supposed to meet him before all that goes down. And you, before you think about you gonna get serious, I'm supposed to meet him before he meets my son.
Russell was pushing the cart like within like 3 weeks a day.
He was holding his son at a training camp.
He was throwing him up in the air.
Training camp. So he's like, the damage has been done. So like, nah, I don't want to meet him now. I mean, which he probably has his own feelings, and I mean, I would probably feel a certain way too. So I mean, who knows? I mean, if he meet him now, it might just be a problem on site. You never know. But that's throwing somebody in a situation that they kind of feel like their back is against the wall, and certain emotions may transpire, and somebody might get the 5 fingers to the face. So
I mean, yeah, it's possible. I mean, is there something to that of you being the father? Is there something? Because I mean,
he's absolutely right.
I remember a few years ago when that first happened, there was a huge online debate, and you had all these people that were speaking because the perception was that Future cheated, whatever, and I don't really like getting into the relationship bag.
Yeah,
but
whatever. That has nothing to do with the way the co-parenting thing is set up.
And people were using that like as a plight of like she found a great guy and she should do what she want. But I always feel like people were missing the fact that at the end of the day, he's still a father. If that happened where you had a guy you were dating for a short period of time, and that point it was like short, and he's bouncing my son up in the air, and I haven't met him yet, I don't know nothing that's going on, I kind of understood it. I don't think just because he
I definitely understand it. He's completely in the right on this one. I mean, and at that moment now.
So do you think, fast forward to the present, you think he has a point about what he just said about he's not being a man, she should keep her Sierra should keep his name out the mouth or whatever the case may be? You think
that's just him commenting on their relationship, which is that could go either way. That's different. I was talking about just the quote that I heard. I didn't hear about the one you were talking about. But I mean, I don't think. I mean, we all know Russell's a mild-mannered person. He's not that type of guy. So I mean, he's gonna let Sierra be Sierra, and I mean, of course, that's not Future, because I mean, he has the pride and the bravado, but
yeah. I think it's a more of a bravado that we're kind of like used to hearing of that, I'm the man, you the woman, be quiet, saying kind of stuff, or don't mention another man in my presence at all.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that is her child's father, so she definitely should be free to speak on him. Because they have issues. They have a living son.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's material, so she would have to bring him up. It's not like she can't. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's just twisted off in Future's mind, though, the way things are supposed to go.
Yeah.
But in his mind. And
I kind of get the whole, like, when, that's also that school of, like, when your woman is acting up or whatever, you want to check the man because you don't want to go back and forth with the woman.
Correct.
So you look at it. It's like when you getting cussed out by a girl and her man right there, and you kind of like, hey, bro, you going to step in a little bit? Like, what you know what I mean? Because if I go back and forth with her, I don't know where this can go. So, I get it from that angle, but, I don't know. He also, like you said, his album dropped, The WIZRD, and he also said that he was scared to tell people that he had been off lean because he didn't want people to be looking at his music had, changed or whatever the case may be. And it brought up a question of like, do you think Future, who has birthed a lot of these artists in the sense of like a lot of these artists, the way they use their music and their tones, they're kind of like his baby.
Oh yeah.
Do you think though he's getting appreciated at, or his music is falling off, or is it, or are we just want to hear the pill popping Future, or there's a chance that his music might have fell off? Or
I mean, no, Beast Mode 2 was hot, and I mean the record he got out now is decent too. So I mean he's always been consistent, and he's still going. I don't think Future's gonna go nowhere.
Do you think he missed a opportunity to be that person to say, I'm no longer on drugs, and he could have really had like an impact to kind of say that? Because you think about the things that we do now.
I don't think he missed nothing with that.
You don't think so?
I don't think he's
Future not being on drugs, you don't think so? With his audience? You think they'll accept that?
I mean, they'll accept it, but I mean, I don't think he missed a wave or anything. He ain't missed no money.
Well, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about missed opportunity to kind of like have a cultural impact, to be like, yo, I'm not doing drugs no more.
Yeah,
right?
Future's a hustler. He don't care about that.
Yeah. If we looking for a woke Future, I don't think.
Yeah, he's just a hustler. He worried about financial. And yeah, he ain't worried about that. He don't care.
Yeah, that's real. But sometimes I think that the oversaturation of music might have been, I think he was like his own enemy because his music was like always there and people couldn't tell the difference between the music they was going to buy or the music they was going to get for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I always felt like that kind of like damaged him a little bit because when your music is just kind of like always there, people can kind of take it for granted. They can take it, they'll feel like they'll get to it soon and then they never get back to it. It's like certain shows on Netflix I haven't watched yet because I'm always like, it's there. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel the urgency to like go watch it because Netflix is not going to take it away. So that's why I'm wondering, like, with Future in his career, like, even right now with the WIZRD, like, with the song being out, do you think it's causing, like, a ruckus or an impact? Because it to me, it seems kind of quiet in comparison to what we know Future to had dropped.
I mean, that's everything, though. Everything is quiet, a little quieter, and it dissolves a little quicker just because of the way the music industry now, and the way we stream and the way we consume music and the quick, well, I say not the quick, but the short memory we have or short attention span we have with music, period. So it kind of goes into play with Future. Well, at least how he was, because he used to just put out music put out a mixtape or some EP or something every month. So it kind of played into that because he was always in the new. He just kind of slowed down and hadn't really put nothing out over the past 3-4 months. So
musically, is he washed?
No, definitely not washed.
You don't think there's a chance that he's washed?
Nah.
You don't think these other little homies that then took his style and ran with it, people are paying more attention to him?
Nah, he's still out here.
Because I think Future's at that strange point in his career, and this is me just honestly speaking, where like he's older, but his audience hasn't grown. And so he still got to do and perform in an old way. I mean, a young way. And I think that's almost damaging for him because there's nothing we're going to get from him that's going to be like shocking for us. It's going to be the same pill popping, syrup drinking type music. And there's necessarily no growth. And the young audience that he's catering to, they can just go to anybody else for that. So,
think so.
Yeah, they can just go to anybody. All these other younger kids are doing it pretty much what Future has been doing. It's unfair, but they're doing it. And so, like, why go to him? And he hasn't had a growing, like, there's nothing Future has put out that has showed, like, growth. It's always been kind of like the same thing.
And you think he's falling down the Jeezy slope?
Yeah, honestly. I think you can. But I never looked at Jeezy as, like, a falling off a slope anyway, because Jeezy was always trying to grow in that sense, like, with his music. Like, you know, talking about the recession and, you know, trying to talk about, Jeezy was all about his, motivation. He was always about trying to get it and what can you do with it.
I'm just talking about from his music becoming unimpactful and music not being as relevant and is in keeping the impact in the, basically, yeah. I mean.
But as far as on the, put it to you like this, Jeezy has an audience, T.I. and them, they have audience because they've been around for a very long time. But their audience has, especially like T.I.'s audience, for example, his audience has grown with him.
Future's been around for a while now.
Future's been around for a while, but he hasn't
got at
put
least
out
8-9 years.
But his music
years
is still 8-9 years ago. Like, it hasn't grown, is what I'm saying. Like, for example, when you listen to the last Jeezy record, you listen to the last T.I. record, there's growth in there. Like, definitely the last Tip album was like, Seasons was growth. Like, that was strictly for adults. Like, you literally got to have at least one kid, or you came close to having one kid listen to that album. Or one homeboy who died, right? So that's what I'm saying as far as in T.I.'s music, it had growth and his audience has grown with him versus Future music, it still sounds, there's nothing when you listen to Future music now that is different from when he came out 8 years ago. His music hasn't grown. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, he's at that weird place where he's still catering to like a young audience, but there's other young dudes that are doing the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it leaves me for a fact, like, unless you was a strong Future supporter, it's kind of like, oh, Future album drop. Oh, okay. But I'm not going to listen to it to hear nothing. Yeah, I'm not going to.
Man, it's still Future, man.
It is. And I'll get to it. I think he's a dope artist, but it's not nothing I'm going to go to be like, it's the same thing. Like, literally, I think that's how that's how the Carter kind of stalled a little bit, because the Carter was a dope album, but Wayne has to find that place or that where he's going to make that transition between him just always saying, like, how much of a dope artist he is. I mean, how good he can rap. Like, we know Wayne can rap. We know Wayne can spit. But when is he going to get in depth and be vulnerable and reveal himself and show some growth and things of that nature where we can be like, oh, man, like, this album is, like, you know, that 444, like, this is your album where you definitely have shown some growth.
You want to cry on the record?
I mean, I ain't got to cry.
He ain't got to cry.
His mom cried on the last record. That was good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? But just show some growth in that. I'm just saying Future's kind of like at that weird place. And you can definitely tell that he's not one for, like, kind of, to your point, like, he's definitely not somebody who cares about the woke crowd. Mm-hmm. Because what he said, did you catch what he said about R. Kelly?
No, I didn't catch that part.
When they asked him, of course, you know, the surviving R. Kelly situation, if you're an artist and you come through the media circuit, they're going to ask you about it. It's just what it is. And when they asked him about it, he pretty much was saying, you know, quote, we giving it too much attention. When you give things too much attention, they blow up, unquote. That's what he think about the R. Kelly situation. You think there's some truth to that, or he's out of his mind?
When you give things too much attention, they blow up.
But you think that applies to the R. Kelly?
I think he was trying to make a point, but the way he processed it in his brain, the thought sounded good, but when it came out his mouth, the delivery wasn't what he thought it was going to be.
So what you think he was trying to say?
Somewhere from the brain to the mouth, the message got misconstrued. Like when you tell somebody one thing and then you tell another person and another tell a person, the message is totally different by the time it got to the third person.
It was like telephone.
Yeah, that's what happened from
like
his,
you
from
started
his
saying
brain.
The chicken went across the road, and by the time it got to John was like, yeah, the chicken shot up 3 dudes and ate a turkey and jumped off the Empire State Building. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what happened from his brain to his mouth with that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't say we paying too much attention. I think that's the whole point of the doc is that people wasn't paying attention to Kels.
If anything, I think we paying it too much attention too late.
Yeah.
rather than backing down and jamming on it. But this guy was bulletproof back then. So
yeah, I mean, people were making noise when no one was paying attention.
Yeah,
right?
he was bulletproof. Like too many people was making money off of him, and they wouldn't let nobody come in between it. So
I also got to kind of like get at media personalities for asking someone like a Future about stuff like that. Like if an artist themselves never gave you the impression that they had that type of bandwidth in their brain, why are you asking them in-depth questions like that? Like, are you just looking for a soundbite? Like we said, like we know Future. Like, why are you asking him something like that and even going on about that? Like, he's not going to go into depth with anything like that. Like, Future gives you all the impression that he's all about himself when it comes to the bread. It's all about that money.
Yeah, so, he don't want none of that in his area, in his existence. Like, just don't even bring it up. He's not worried about that.
Yeah. French Montana said the same thing. Like, he just want to let legends live. Like, bruh, stop asking people like that. Like, French looks like he just want to live his life, puts out a record when he wants to put out a record, and he just want to be glossy. French is not someone you go and, again, these are not people you go and ask. Like, I don't understand. It's kind of like that old joke that Dave Chappelle had. We said when 9/11 happened, he said the news is like, let's hear what Ja Rule got to say. Like I don't want to hear from Ja Rule, nigga. like that's not who I want to hear from.
Not the personal credibility that I want to hear from right now.
Like the buildings just blow up and let's hear what Ja Rule has to say. Like that's not what I want to hear. Like I think we have to kind of know our artists and know the people that are in the culture. Like unless they give us something that shows that they can kind of articulate that.
Unless you're gonna talk to a J. Cole or a Common or something like that.
Yeah, like
those are the people I might want to hear. I might want to hear what Common got to say. I might want to hear what, I mean, if this was 5-6 years ago, I may want to hear what Kanye West got to say.
Or even now, you probably want to hear what he had to say because he's going to give you something.
Yeah, he's going to give me something.
But you going to ask Future about the government shutdown?
No.
Like, it's like,
not asking him about that.
Like, you going to ask French Montana about the government shutdown? Like, you going to ask him about that? Yo, man, how you feel about the government shutdown? Do they know?
Does he know?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you high like that, living your life like that,
that
every
mean
single
I
day,
ain't got to pay taxes this year?
Right. That's how they looking at it. Huh? What?
I mean, I ain't got to pay my taxes, huh?
Like, who you going? Like, what's up with this? Like, we just every time there's like a major situation.
That mean the feds can't indict me now?
Right. That's it. Right. So that means the feds ain't working.
Feds ain't working.
State, local, they don't know the difference between all that. So I can smoke weed now.
So they let all my people out the federal penitentiaries now?
So my man out.
Yeah. They still locked up.
They accept Cash App.
Like, they still locked. Oh, we still locked up?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I don't know none of that, man. So I think, you know, to people who ask them those kind of questions, I mean, I understand asking about, you know, the surviving R. Kelly situation because that was such a huge topic, but you can't, when people get upset, when I saw the outrage and people upset at Future about that, I'm like, it's Future. You ought to be happy. That's all he said.
Now, what did you expect from him? What more do you want from me?
Right. I mean, come on now. Let's keep the focus towards R. Kelly. Let's not start saying we gonna mute Future because I mean, Future, you shouldn't expect nothing less from him anyway.